All right. Shabbat Shalom. Greetings to the 12 tribes that have been scattered into the four corners of the earth. The 12 tribes of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Greetings also to those among the heathen, among the non-Israelite bloodline from the nations, as the Bible describes you, who would like to or want to or have been grafted in by faith, through faith in the Hebrew Messiah, into the scattered nation of the chosen people. Greetings to you. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, that are trying to save lives, even at the expense of their own. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean. Blessings upon those that are trying to deliver stuff for us through all kinds of bad weather and all kinds of dangerous situations for our convenience. Also, blessings and double blessings upon those that are out here trying to deliver not just stuff, but men and women and boys and girls and teenagers that have been either snatched off the street and kidnapped, sold like property, or bamboozled or born into situations where they become sex slaves and human victims of human trafficking for the perverted pleasure of people that can pay. Blessings on those trying to deliver these boys and girls and children and teenagers and men and women from the clutches of this ugly industry. And curses, double curses, on those that support this industry of perverted sexual activity on children. Finally, blessings upon those that are trying to help the homeless. There are 500,000 human beings in the United States alone, not including Mexico and Canada, that have no roof over their head tonight. And we're talking about men and women and children and families and veterans that have no roof over their head, no place to sleep today. Okay? Blessings upon the ones working for them. Also, blessings upon them themselves, for theirs is the kingdom. Well, brethren, we've been studying the book of Jeremiah. We've been studying Jeremiah, and we're going to continue in that study today in Jeremiah. And as I'm starting to study today in the book of Jeremiah, I want to just express some things here with regard to the true church. The true church. What am I talking about? Well, brethren, we talked about this a lot. We talk about this quite often. This Bible brings up a group of people that it calls church. Sometimes it says the church. Now, over the centuries, and I do mean that, centuries, since the prophets of Israel were given these inspirational words, the word church has come to mean a different thing. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. For example, in 1988, there was an Olympic Games. And a gentleman from Great Britain won an event. And the event he won, I think it was the decathlon. And his name was Daley. His first name was Daley. I think his name was Daley Thompson. He won the decathlon. I think it was 1988. And when he won, he had a shirt. Listen now. He had a shirt, a t-shirt on. And the t-shirt said, "Is Daley gay?" That's what it said. Is Daley gay? And you would say, well, if you listen to that today, you would say, was he asking if he was homosexual? No. He's from Britain. And in the British language, when they say gay, they mean happy. So he was asking, is Daley happy? Yes, Daley is happy. But because of the culture, how it has developed and evolved over time, if somebody was to ask the question, is somebody gay right now? The question would be in everybody's mind, is that person a homosexual? They're asking about gay. Well, the same thing has happened with the word church. In the Bible, the word church is used to describe a congregation. And in fact, the word is translated the ecclesia, the called out assembly, the called out congregation. And the Bible describes that called out congregation. Sorry to hear that, Sister Wright. May he rest in peace. And the Bible describes the called out congregation as the children of Israel. He said, I've called my son out of Egypt. Because that's what he called Jacob's children, out of Egypt. And then he said he's going to set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people which are left. And then he said that he called his nation out of another nation. That's Deuteronomy chapter 7, I believe. He said, I called my nation out of another nation. That's the ecclesia. And in fact, King Solomon, tribe of Judah, put out some proverbs in a book that is called Ecclesiastes. And he calls himself the preacher. So the church in the Bible is the nation of Israel. But because of how that word has been changed, like the word gay, it is now meaning a building, an organized religious group that's usually Christian, some sect of Christian. So that now if somebody uses the word church, they're talking about an organized sect, generally of Christianity, generally. But that is misinterpreting what the Bible is using as church. And so I have heard during the course of my life, the Jehovah's Witnesses say, people from that denomination speak to me and say, we are the true church. I have heard people from the denomination of the Mormons say, we are the true church. And of course, I have heard SDAs, and I used to also say, SDAs say they are the true church. And SDAs, by the way, would say the reason they are the true church is because of Revelation 12:17, because it says the woman's seed would keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. And then they would say that the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy, which is Ellen White's writings. I know it sounds crazy, but they would say that's the true church. But as we get ready to study Jeremiah chapter 9, it's going to give you the characteristic of the true church in that chapter. And it's going to tell you that one of the characteristics of the true church, and the Bible does have a true church. And I'm going to give you many witnesses right now about the true church. And I want you to tell me, what are the character traits that I'm highlighting in these scriptures that tells you what the true church is. And I want to give you several witnesses. Let's see. I'm going to give you Moses, of course, Jeremiah. I'm going to give you Ezekiel. I'm going to give you Zachariah. I'm going to give you Peter and James and Messiah. And after I give you all of those witnesses, tell me what is the character trait that they're talking about of the true church? Tell me that once we get, and we're getting it from this book. It's not just like we're making a statement that we're the true church, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, and they changed this book to the New World Translation, and they keep going back and forth and can't make up their mind. It's not like we're the Mormons that say some white Jesus came to this man that had 100 million wives in Utah and some of them underage, and they're the true church. It's not like we get in the SDAs that use one verse, maybe two, and twist it to make Ellen White the spirit of prophecy and tell you they're the true church. No, we're going to use the prophets of the word. And the Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, but I just named you at least 4 or 5, right? Maybe 6 or 7 even. Matter of fact, we'll count. And you tell me what we're going to show, what is going to be shown here about the true church. Now, I already told you what the scriptures say about the Most High's chosen people, right? That it's Israel. That's his chosen. Israel is his chosen, right? So let's look at some witnesses. Let's start in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy. Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to start in Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'm going to use a couple of verses from Deuteronomy just for emphasis. I could do the same thing in Jeremiah, but since we're studying Jeremiah, we'll get to them anyway, right? So I don't need to go through all of them. And plus, like I said, today we're studying Jeremiah chapter 9, so you're going to see it for yourself, at least one of the witnesses of Jeremiah saying the same thing. So let's see here. Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'm going to read verse 26 through 30. Jeremiah chapter 4. Okay. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day. Moses is talking to the Israelites. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahweh shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahweh thy Most High, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn unto Yahweh thy Most High, and shalt be obedient unto his voice, for Yahweh thy Most High is a merciful Most High, he will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers which he sware unto them. Okay, so we just seen that's a prophecy of his true people, right? That's the characteristic. We saw it there. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to read more. So let's look at more. Let's get some more. Let's get some more witnesses. So that was Moses. So we can't use any more Moses because we just got Moses, right? So let's go to another prophet. Let's see. I'm on my way to, I could stop at Isaiah, but no. I'm gonna go, and we're gonna read Jeremiah, so I'm not gonna do that one. So let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel, yes, let's go to Ezekiel. Another witness here, Ezekiel. Okay, let's do Ezekiel. And Ezekiel also gives it several times. So let's look first at Ezekiel chapter 11. Ezekiel chapter 11. I am going to start at verse 14, and I'm going to go down to verse 17 of Ezekiel chapter 11. This is the character trait of the true church of the Bible that you can know by just reading the scriptures as this character trait, and you can find them this way. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 14 to 17. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 14 to 17. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel, holy that are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get you far from Yahweh. Unto us is this land given in possession. Therefore say, Thus saith Yahweh the Most High, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet I will be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they become. Therefore say, Thus saith Yahweh Most High, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of all the countries where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. Wait a minute. Again, he's talking, this is Ezekiel, the Hebrew prophet, tribe of Levi, talking about the Israelite people, and he's telling you one character trait about them, the same one that Moses mentioned. Did you see that character trait again? Okay, maybe you didn't see it. So let me look again. Let's take a look, and let's go to Ezekiel. Like I said, we're going to say a couple in Ezekiel because he says it several times. So let's hear Ezekiel chapter 34. Ezekiel chapter 34. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 6. Ezekiel chapter 34. Some of you already getting it. From 1 to 6. But wait a minute. So we have so far Moses and Ezekiel, right? We got two witnesses. And I already told you we're going to get it from Jeremiah as well. But wait a minute. We got two witnesses. We got more to go. Okay, let's keep going. Ezekiel chapter 34 from verse 1 to 6. And this is only our second witness, but it's two men so far, two Israelite men. Matter of fact, it's interesting. Moses was a Levite and Ezekiel was a Levite, and they both given this testimony. Okay. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophecy against the shepherds of Israel, prophecy and say unto them, Thus saith the Most High Yahweh unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? Ye eat the fat, ye clothe you with the wool, ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty ye have ruled them, and they were scattered, because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the fields when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. They were, what? What's the character trait again? Wait a minute. There's got to be more. You got to have more than one witness. You got to have more than two witnesses. I told you we're going to have several witnesses. So let's look at Zachariah. Let's look at Zachariah. That's another witness. Zachariah is another witness. Just so happens Zachariah also was a Levite. It's amazing, isn't it? Zachariah, here we go. Zachariah. Oh, Zachariah also says it multiple times. So you got, this is my third witness that is saying this character trait of the true people in the last days multiple times. Kind of really can't miss it. But let's read Zechariah chapter 1, right? Zechariah chapter 1. Right? We're going to go through this as we look at Jeremiah chapter 9 today, which is going to be another witness. But Zechariah chapter 1, Zechariah saw in the vision here. I'm going to start at verse 14, and I'm going to read down to verse 21. Notice I'm trying to keep things in context as much as I can, right? Because I don't want to just read one verse. Sometimes I will, but you're getting the totality of what we're talking about here. Or should I say what the Bible is saying, correct? So let's take a look at Zechariah chapter 1. I'll read from verse 14 down to verse 21. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies, and my house shall be built in it, saith Yahweh of hosts. And the line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry yet, saying, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and Yahweh shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. And Yahweh showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah, to scatter it. There's a third witness. Well, before we leave Zachariah, he got more to say about this. Zechariah chapter 7. I'm going to start at verse 9 and go down to verse 14 of Zechariah chapter 7. Zechariah 7. Now, we just read Zechariah 1, 14 to 21. Now, Zechariah 7, 9 to 14. Witnesses of who the true church is and what their condition is in these last days. Thus speaketh Yahweh of hosts, saying, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion, every man to his brother. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor. And let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But ye refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears that they would not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which Yahweh of hosts had sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came great wrath from Yahweh of hosts. Therefore it is come to pass that as he cried that they would not hear, so he cried and I would not hear, saith Yahweh of hosts. But I scattered them with the whirlwind among all the nations, whom they knew not. The land was desolate after them, that no man passed through nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. Are you getting a picture of who the true church is? What their condition is? Wait a minute, somebody might say, but that's the Old Testament. Things are different in the New Testament. Jesus changed everything. Well, let's see what Jesus has to say about it. Luke chapter 21. Messiah is on his way to be crucified as the sacrifice for the sins of his people. And he said some things before he was crucified. In Luke chapter 21, talking about his Israelite brothers and sisters and cousins. Let's start here at verse 19, and let's go down to verse 24. 19 to 24, Luke chapter 21, 19 to 24. In your patience, says Messiah, possess ye your souls. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. They shall be what? Led away captive into all nations. Before I continue, and by the way, let's see, we talked about Moses, right? Ezekiel, Zachariah, and now Messiah himself. That's 4 witnesses, and we got a couple more. But wait a second. What we saw so far, if you wanted to see the true people, the true Israelite church, First of all, I think we can see from everything that we just read, it is not an organized 501c corporation. I think you can see that, correct? You don't see in the scattering of organized 501c3 religion, do you? Or do you see as people that scattered among heathen and in the minority among the people that are controlling them? Do you see that? Do you see a people that have been led away captive? Do you see that? Who are those people that are scattered among the heathen and are minorities in the areas where they've been scattered and have been led away captive? Wait a minute. Somebody might say, you got to have 2 or 3 witnesses in the New Testament. It's about the New Testament. Okay. Let's take a look at our brother, Jacob. You say, Jacob, who's that? Well, his Greek name is James, but his Hebrew name is Jacob. And he was assigned to teach the gospel to the Israelites. Just like Paul was assigned to teach the gospel to the Gentiles, James was assigned by Messiah to teach the gospel to the Israelite people that were scattered. How do we know that James was to do this? James chapter 1 and verse 1. James chapter 1 and verse 1. James, a servant of Yah and of the Master YHWH, the Messiah, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting to the 12 tribes that are scattered. Now, he is the 5th witness, right? He's the 5th witness we heard so far that says the same thing. Here's another one, Kapha, whom you know as Peter, whom the Bible in Greek says Cephas. Kapha, who also with James was chosen to teach the Israelite people, although he was the first of the Israelites to witness to the Gentile at the mouth he gave his testimony to Cornelius, the Italian man. But it was after that Paul became, the apostle. Barnabas, the ones that were chosen to the heathen. But Peter and James were chosen to the Israelites. And here he is in his first general epistle, Kapha, Peter, 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. Peter, an apostle of the Messiah YHWH, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of Yah the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Messiah YHWH, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. The word strangers here is pilgrims. Pilgrims, yes. So you have the character traits of the true church of the Bible. It's not an organized religion. It's not a 501c3 corporate structure. It's a people that have been scattered. And then not only have they been scattered, they've been led away captive, like enslaved. You understand who the true church is today? It is the same people who have been led away captive. Is this? Yeah, I read verse 1 and 2 there. My apologies. I said verse 1, but I read 1 and 2. It's the same people that have been led away captive who have, according to all the prophets we read, and I can give you more than I gave you. There's more than I just gave you. I gave you 6. And the 7th one we're going to read here in Jeremiah. So I gave you 7. I'm going to give you 7 witnesses that tell you the true church of the Bible is not a Christian denomination. It is not an organized religion. No. It's the Israelite people that have been scattered and led away captive into lands that they're not from, among heathen. And they're the minority among the heathen, because that's why we're scattered abroad. You understand? You catching that? I'm just reading the Bible to y'all. Now, if I couldn't come up with 7 witnesses, somebody might be able to doubt it. But the only way you're going to doubt is that you just got to decide you don't want to follow this book. And that's your business. If you decide you want to go follow the Quran or follow the Book of Mormon or Ellen White or whatever you want to follow, you could do that. That's your business. But for me and the people that are looking just at this book, the Bible, and the Bible only, the Bible tells us that one of the character traits, a major character trait of the Israelite people in the last days, is that they have been scattered and taken away captive, brought into slavery by Gentiles. That's what it says. Okay? That's what it says. And it called, Zachariah said, remember Zachariah said, there were 4 horns that scattered Israel and Judah. There were 4 horns. Remember that? You want to know who the 4 horns are? You know who the 4 horns are. I mean, if you followed the Daniel Bible study and you saw Daniel, remember Nebuchadnezzar, head of gold, Medes and the Persians, chest and arms of silver, Greeks, belly of brass. Remember that? And the Romans of iron. The 4 powers that scattered Israel and Judah. You see, that's why if you look, world history, right? Like in world history, there's been a lot of empires. Right? I mean, right? There's been a lot of like if you go to China, they can go back thousands of years and tell you about all these different Ming dynasties and different dynasties they have had in China. If you go to the continent they call Africa, you can know, the Mali dynasty, the Ashanti dynasty, Timbuktu. There was a whole bunch of, dynasties in the world. Then there was a time, of course, where the British said, the sun never set on the British Empire. So you had a lot of, different empires and dynasties in the earth. But the Most High chose to highlight 4 because of their initial relation to his true church, that were involved in the scattering of his true church, of his true people, that are involved in the captivation, the captivity, the enslavement of his true people. He chose those 4. And the last one, Rome, he told us, as we saw from the scriptures, covers the whole earth on a religious and a government scale. And not only that, the ones taking the place of the Edomites. And I say taking their place. See, a lot of people get this confused, and it's not confusing. I praise the Most High. It's not confusing to me. See, the Ashkenazi Jews are the Edomites. Why? You got to combine Noah's prophecy with what other prophets have said. You see, that's what I'm saying. You get a whole picture when you look at all the prophets. You don't got to read these other books. You just got to look at the Bible, and it's all in there. What was Noah's prophecy about the sons of Japheth? What was the prophecy that Noah gave about the children of Japheth? Do you remember? Take a look. Genesis chapter 9. Genesis chapter 9. What was Noah's prophecy about the children of Japheth? He gave a prophecy about the children of Japheth. Let's look at Genesis chapter 9. I'm going to begin at verse 24 of Genesis chapter 9. Genesis chapter 9, verse 24 down to verse 29. Genesis chapter 9. This is one of the prophecies about the children of Japheth. Let's watch. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his youngest son had done unto him, and said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be Yahweh most high of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Yah shall enlarge Japheth and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. What shall Japheth do? Dwell in the tents of Shem. So they're trying to take over Shem, but they're from Japheth. So that tells you you're going to have Shemites that are going to be scattered or taken over by people from Japheth. Now, it's obvious that the Ashkenazi Jews are trying to take the place of the true Israelites, and they are Japheth. But let's take it further. What else does it say about the Edomites? Let's take a look. See, I praise the Most High for the word of the Most High because, you know, he gives it all to us here. Let's go back to our brother, Ezekiel, the Levite. Let's go back to the Levite brother, Ezekiel, the prophet of the nation, one of the prophets of the nation of Israel. Let's take a look at that. Let's talk about Edom for a second. So we know that Japheth is going to dwell in Shem's tent. In other words, try to take over Shem's house, right? Okay. Ezekiel chapter 36. It's our second witness. I'm going to start at verse. Let's see. I'm going to start at, I'm tempted to just use one verse here, but I'm going to use 3 for the sake of continuity. It's from verse 5. I'm going to go from verse 5 and verse down to verse 7, but it's verse 5 we're really looking at here. So watch verse 5. Ezekiel chapter 36 from 5 to 7. Ready? Here we go. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Edomia. Edomites are what make up the area they also call Edomia. Okay, look that up for yourself. You don't have to believe me. Go look up the Hebrew Edomia. You'll find out it's Edom. Okay, which have appointed my land unto their possession with the joy of all their heart, and with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Prophecy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, I have lifted up mine hand. Surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame. So again, what does it say about Edom? Well, we already know Noah said Japheth going to try to dwell in the tents of Shem, and here Edom's going to take over Yah's land. Getting a picture so far? Edom's going to try to take over Yah's land. And there also, we know, they're going to try to dwell in the tents of Shem. Wait a minute, there's more. Oh, yes, there's more. Where's my prophet? Where's my other Israelite prophet? Obadiah. Oh, yeah, Obadiah got something to say, too. Yes, he does. Obadiah, they call him a minor prophet, but we got to read Obadiah. Watch this. Obadiah, I'm going to read, and there's only one page, basically. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 4. Watch what it says now. Obadiah from 1 to 4. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee, talking about Edom, I have made thee small among the heathen and greatly despised. I have made thee small among the heathen. That means there's not a lot of them, and they're greatly despised, even among the heathen. Wait a minute. Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. That means they're high. They're in high places, like spiritual wickedness in high places. Let's continue. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So let's put all this together. They're Japhet, but they want to dwell in Sem's tents, right? They want to take over the land that belongs to the Most High for his chosen, okay? And they're small among the heathen and greatly despised. We got 3 witnesses there. You put that all together, and there's only one people on the planet that actually fit that description. You hear what I'm saying? So you got Edomites, and they're posing as, see, the true Edomites. In other words, Esau's bloodline. What we're going to read in Jeremiah, they've been scattered. Yes, the people that were on the land initially, your Philistines, your Israelites, your Edomites, your Ammonites, and Moabites, they are not there. All of them people that are there right now are various forms of Japhet that have come in and take over. And you can see it when you look at them. And among them, all of them, there are some darker people that you don't see because they're mistreated in it, that are left there. But the original people of those lands have been scattered, just like, see, it wasn't just the Israelites that were scattered, y'all. The Bible going to show us all the people of those lands were scattered. And when you think about it, we know originally all of those people were brown. But they're not brown no more. You know why? Because they're not the original people that's there anymore. The same 4 horns came through. 3 of those 4, the first one being Babylon, that was different. That was a Hamite. But the last 3 were all Japhet. And they came through. And when they came through, they mixed their seed in there. And now and they scattered the people that was there. You see what I'm saying? And changed the name of the place to the Middle East. Am I lying? You see anything in the Bible about the Middle East? It doesn't even make any sense, does it? You have a Middle North? Is there a Middle South? Is there a Middle West? They call it the Middle East, y'all. And truth be told, the same Japhet named the continent of Africa. That wasn't the original name of that continent. They named it Africa after another son of Japhet. And even though they named it Africa, they don't even want to admit that that place that they call Middle East is Africa. So now you can get an idea. When you're looking at the scriptures, who the true Israelites are, who the fake ones are, who the fake Edom is, that's rich but despised. They're not big in number, but they controlling a lot of stuff, y'all. No, they controlling a lot of stuff, especially with regards to money. Especially with that. They controlling a lot of stuff. Y'all catching it? And they still answering to the dragon and the dragon's girlfriend, Rome. It's all in the scriptures, man. We just got to read it. It's all there. You see what I'm saying? And you understand what I'm saying when I say when you start looking at Apocrypha and all these other books, you'll get confused, man. But when you start just focus on these 66 books right here, it lays the whole thing out for you. It's right there. You just got to take the time to read it. Study it. It's right there. Okay? It's all there. And that's how I know that the translation of the King James is sound. Because it speaks these truths. And it's even more like proof when you consider that the original translators into English were Catholics, or either Catholics or former Catholics, were the translators of this book, like your William Tyndales, your John Husses, your Knoxes, your Luthers, all of those cats were involved. Your Dewey, not Dewey, excuse me, not that one, but all these other books that were original translations into English. Not the Dewey. The Dewey's a Jesuit Bible. But the rest of them, were really Roman Catholics, and this Bible speaks strongly against themselves. So why would they translate a book if they were going to be biased now, and it's all against them? You know what I'm saying? Why would they translate a book that talks about, Japhet like that, and said the last days Gog and Magog will come against the kingdom and get destroyed? No, it's a sound translation. It's a sound translation. Or why is it that all of the main characters in the book are melanated people? Melanated people. Okay? Well, all the main characters, the whole Israelite nation with Moses and Jeremiah and Ezekiel and all them, melanated people. The Apostle Paul, melanated. Why would they translate it so you can see that in the scriptures if they were going to be biased about it? You hear what I'm saying? It's proven in itself by the own people that did it. This was written for us in these last days. It was written for the true Israelite people in the last days to come back and teach y'all what this means. To come back and teach y'all what this means for your own salvation. So the true church is the scattered nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes that were scattered and taken captive throughout the whole planet, and are in the minority in different places where they have been among the heathen. That's the true church. Then now you can put the label on top of that and say they keep Yah's commandments and they have the testimony or the witness of Messiah. What is the witness of Messiah? The Bible tells us his witness is the spirit that brings you prophecy, the spirit of prophecy. What is that prophetic spirit? How does that prophetic spirit come? It comes by the Father's perfect righteousness, which is the faith of Messiah. The faith of Messiah is the testimony of Messiah, is the spirit of prophecy, because that's prophetic utterance comes from the Father's spirit. Y'all feeling me? This prophetic utterance does not come from man. It doesn't come from woman. It comes from the spirit of the Father, and the spirit is perfect righteousness. That's his spirit. That's the spirit of prophecy. So the scattered people that were enslaved, that were taken away captive, that are now turning to go back to the commandments of Yah and receiving of his spirit of perfect righteousness to cover their sin, those are the true church. They're scattered. You might see a few of them here and there together. We can't get together but so much, though, because if too many of us get together, you know what happens? They come and try to kill us. We have seen that, right? We tried to get together under the banner of Black Panthers, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. What happened to them brothers? Then Brother Khalid Muhammad came back and tried to reignite the Black Panther Party to self-defense. What happened to him? He was poisoned to death, if you didn't know. He was poisoned to death. Black Panthers were either murdered by police, arrested and put in jail by FBI. Malcolm X tried to put together the Organization of Afro-American Unity. What happened to him? Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were getting together. Martin Luther King started waking up and realizing that they owe us a check. The government of the United States owes us as Black people, former slaves, a check. And he said, we marching on Washington. Not this time to talk about a dream. He said, we coming to get our check. What happened to him? Brethren. So we know what happens when too many of us get together. Did I make all that stuff up? Or did I make that up? Or did y'all know what I just said? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Khalid Muhammad, Fred Hampton. What happened to all that? Come on, y'all know. Now, when a bunch of lesbians and homosexuals get together and call it Black Lives Matter and want to march in the street, we got no problems then. Got no problems then. Oh, you good then? Because now you can get in Ashkenazi media, you can get in the Roman control government, and you good. Y'all seeing this? But the difference in the last days with the true people is when we are returning to Yah's commandments. We are returning to Yah through his appointed means. His appointed means now is Messiah. He has chosen Messiah for us to get to him through Messiah. So we come to the Messiah who is representing the Father's righteousness. Messiah, YHWH, bring us back to the nation. We start to awaken to who we are as a scattered nation. That cannot be stopped. Brother Fred Hampton was trying to do the Black Panther Party for self-defense in Chicago on a political platform. So was Huey Newton and Eldridge Cleaver. They were trying to do it on a political platform. Martin Luther King was trying to move on it with civil rights. Malcolm X was trying to move on it with the UN with human rights. And all of those brothers had valid points. But all of them were murdered and stopped and their movements scattered. Why? Because it was on the platforms of the heathen, not on the platform of Yah and his righteousness. When you're on the platform of Yah's righteousness, brethren, you know what Messiah said? The gates of hell shall not prevail against it. It was just one angel, just one, that came through the whole nation of Egypt and destroyed all the firstborn. It was just one. It was just one angel that came through against the Assyrian army and leveled 280,000 soldiers. Just one. It was just one angel that came through when David sinned and was punishing Israel and was about to destroy Israel, Jerusalem, before he was called off by the Most High. Just one. Can you imagine? When Yah lets loose on all his angels. That's coming. That was a time of trouble such as never was. That's coming, y'all. And what he's doing, as I mentioned to y'all Wednesday night, all of these trials and tribulations that we must go through, to be prepared, spiritually prepared for what's coming. That's all the Father's doing. See, the preparation is of the Father. It's his name that's on the line. You understand? The hour of his judgment is come. It's his name that's on the line. So with that in mind, all he wants from us is our cooperation. He's going to prepare us. Don't you think, because of your own shortcomings, you're not going to be prepared. Don't worry about that. Just got to trust the Father. That's what this is all about. That's what spreading the gospel is all about. Introducing Father's righteousness to people so they can trust in that righteousness. That's what that's all about. And he finishes the work. He that hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of the Messiah. He finishes the work. We surrender to him and allow him to finish the work, thus proving that we trust him. And we trust his word. That's what this is about. I know it's simple, isn't it? People make it complicated. It's not that complicated. Really, it's not. Pretty simple. Okay? Pretty simple. Simple doesn't mean easy, though. Simple means easy to understand. That doesn't mean it's easy to do, though. But that's what it is. It's very simple to understand. Okay, that's what this is all about. Now, with that in mind, let's turn to our seventh witness, Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 9. That's where we are right now. So the Father, through his prophet Jeremiah, is warning our ancient brothers and sisters, our ancestors. He's warning them about what's going to happen to them because of their disobedience to his law. See, that's them saying, let the heathen talk about there's no law. Let them talk about that. We don't need to talk like that. The law of the covenant is what this deal is all about. Messiah was the covenant made flesh. The breaking of the covenant with Israel would cause us to be punished. And it's grace on the behalf of, from the Most High through Messiah to cause us to be brought back in line with the covenant. That's what this is all about. You don't have to wear a long beard. You don't have to wear tassels. You could wear that if you want to, but that's not what this is about. It's about a character in your forehead of perfect righteousness with the Father that you cannot earn, You cannot develop it on your own. It only comes with surrender to Messiah, who brings you to your Father. It comes with eating up his word. And I hope y'all reading it. Right now, I'm in Joshua and Luke. That's where I'm at right now. Joshua and Luke. And I'm just continuing. Some of y'all done read through the Old Testament already. So it's Joshua and Luke I'm at right now as I'm continuing my reading. I'm in Joshua and Luke. Joshua and Luke. I hope y'all are continuing your reading in the word of the Most High. But just keep eating up that word. He's going to bless you. Just keep eating up that word. He's going to bless you. Okay? He's going to bless you. My wife was telling me this morning. She said, man, I was reading through Leviticus, and man, it's hard. She said, look at all them sacrifices and all this and that. She said, but at the same time, I find myself getting closer to the word. That's the spirit. As you continue, just read every word. It's not our intellect. It's not even our understanding. It's his spirit. You remember what Zachariah said? Or what I said was told to Zachariah by the angel. The angel said, not by might, right? Nor by power, but by my spirit, saith Yahweh of hosts. He don't just give that spirit to everybody, you know. Don't. Only to those chosen to be his. Okay? You don't just give that spirit to everybody. That's the most precious thing he could give y'all, is the spirit. He give it to those who Messiah deems worthy to have it. And he deems those worthy who are repentant and want to bring glory to his Father through obedience. Okay? Let's continue. Jeremiah chapter 9. Jeremiah chapter 9. Here we go. Beginning at verse 1. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 7. Jeremiah chapter 9, our seventh witness. Jeremiah chapter 9, from verse 1 to 7. Oh, that my head were waters, and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men, and they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. For they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith Yahweh. Did you read did you hear that? The Most High says he was like, his head was like a fountain so that he could just show the tears for the daughter of his people. He said he wished he could leave his people. He wished he could just leave, but they're his people, so he can leave. It's beautiful, but it's sad, right? But that's our history, y'all. This is our history. We are reading our history. Okay, you want to know why we're in this situation? Here it is right here. Let's continue. Verse 4. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders, and they will deceive every one his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, saith Yahweh. Aren't we always talking about how this earth is built now on lies? And how anyone that wants to stand for the truth is going to be an enemy of the planet. You don't got to try. You don't got to make an example of yourself. All you want to do is obey your Father in heaven through his word, and you automatically become an enemy of Asatan. And Asatan controls all of the units of this planet. So you automatically become his enemy, and the planet will begin to hate you. It's not about being mean or even loud. You can be the kindest, giving, surrendered person, love and righteousness, and eventually they're going to hate you. Just know that. simply because the spirit of righteousness is at opposite sides of the spirit of deceit and lies. And this earth is built on deceit and lies. Okay? It's not like you trying to be the most wanted, but they're going to hunt you like you are because of the truth. Okay? Yeah, my wife is in Leviticus too. She was telling me that today. She's in Leviticus and she's plowing through it. And that's why I told her, I said, keep on plowing through it. She said she was tempted to just skip over stuff. I said, no, don't do that. Read through it, even if it's boring. And there's some boring parts in there. Read through it. Let your eyes go through those words. You'll be blessed. You'll be blessed. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but read it. Read through it. Okay, let's continue. Verse 6. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, saith Yahweh. Therefore thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will melt them and try them. For how shall I do for the daughter of my people? Their tongue is as an arrow shot out. It speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart he layeth wait. Shall I not visit them for these things, saith Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? For the mountains will I take up a weeping and wailing, for the habitations of the wilderness a lamentation, because they are burned up, so that none can pass through them. Neither can men hear the voice of the cattle. Both the fowls of the heaven and the beasts are fed, they are gone. I will make Jerusalem heaps and a den of dragons. And I will make the cities of Judah desolate without an inhabitant. Who is the wise man that may understand this? Who is he to whom the mouth of Yahweh have spoken, that he may declare it? For what the land perisheth and is burned up like a wilderness, that none passeth through? And Yahweh said, because they have forsaken my law. There you go. Verse 13. And Yahweh said, because they have forsaken my law, which I have set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, for have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Baalim, Lord, which their fathers taught them. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Most High of Israel, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them the water of gall to drink. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me just be plain with y'all so y'all can understand. Has the so-called Negro drank wormwood and gall in his experience? Has he done that over the last many centuries? Has he been drinking wormwood and gall? Has he? Verse 16. I will scatter them. There's your witness. There's number 7. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. And I will send a sword after him till I will have consumed them. Has that happened to the people that were scattered? Has that taken place with the people that were taken captive? Has it? Is it? How do we get out of this? They have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart and after Baalim. Go away from these things, back to the law of your God. Go back to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go back to them. Never mind these churches, these organizations, these religions. Go back to your God. He's not in an organized religion. He's not in a denomination. He's not in a so-called church that they call today. He's not in these places. He's not there. He's waiting for you to come to him through the Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Your Father's waiting for you. He wants to give you the righteousness that he has prepared for you before the foundation of the planet. He has prepared this for you, Israel. You are the people that he has appointed to bring the message of his truth to the earth. You're the only ones that could do it. Why? Because he said so. You're the only ones that could do it. That will never change. I am Yahweh. I change not. That is why there's been darkness on the planet for the last 2,000 years. Because you Israelites have been scattered and brought into these different nations and worship these other gods of wood and stone. That's why. But now, as the awakening is taking place, this gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Then shall the end come. It's the Israelite nation that's been scattered, that's going to bear witness and is bearing witness. Now, it's just a small scattering, but it's going to become bigger. Not because of radio or YouTube even or television, because of the power of the Spirit of the Father. That's what's being brought forth. Here's the witness. I scattered them and consumed them. Seventh witness, y'all. Let's continue. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider ye and call for the mourning woman, that they may come, and send for cunning women, that they may come, and let them make haste and take up a wailing for us, that our eyes may run down with tears, and our eyelids gush out with waters. For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. Hear ye the word of Yahweh, O ye woman, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation. For death is come up unto our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without and the young men from the streets. Speak, thus saith Yahweh, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as the handful after the harvestman, none shall gather them. Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. Who is he talking about? Himself. The glory, the joy, the praise shouldn't be for anything but that we understand and know Yah. Know who he is. Know what his wisdom is like, his ways, his righteousness. Know his son, who is an expression of himself. That you understand and know him. Let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will punish, watch this, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. What does he mean by that? Let's continue. Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised, and the house of Israel are uncircumcised in heart. So he says, I'm going to punish all these nations. Do you see that? See? So all of those nations have been scattered just like us. So that the people that are on those lands right now are not the original people. I know people that are Israelite brothers that are running over there to Moab, to what you call it, to Jordan, because that's the land of Moab and Ammon. And Daniel said Moab and Ammon escaped, and so they're thinking that that land's going to escape. And I was telling them not the original people. Y'all on the danger zone right there. Get out of there. And you see right now in the news, have you seen that the government of the state of Israel is kicking out all of those Israelites that came there claiming that was the land of their return? Do you remember that? The brothers that went there from the United States in the 60s, they came over there and they've been there for like 40 years. And now the state is kicking them out. And they're fighting to stay in there. And they're not going to be able to, because the Most High is blessing them to get kicked out, because that place is getting ready to be destroyed. And the Most High is trying to scatter, get his people out of there. Ain't no safety there. All of them are heathen. The children of Yafet them take over that whole land, y'all. We don't need to be there. We need to get up out of there. Yeah, they sitting over there. Them cats that was over there from the 60s, that brother that led them there, who they called the Messiah, and he died. And the people's been there for like a couple of generations now. And the government of Israel is kicking them out. Kicking them all out. Kicking the Ethiopian ones out. Kicking the ones out that came from the return from the United States. Kicking them all out. Check it out. That's what's going on. And they thinking it's, unfair. Nah, y'all. The Most High is trying to save you. He's trying to save you. Get out of Jordan. Get out of the state of Israel. Get out of the Middle East. The place is about to be destroyed. It's not safe. The original inhabitants have been scattered from them place, as we just see here. And you're going to read it more. Jeremiah got more to say about it, So we're going to see more. But get out of there. Get out of there. When it says Edom, Moab, and Ammon are going to be delivered, it's talking about the real inhabitants that are scattered like us. Oh, Lord, have mercy upon us, man. Have mercy upon us. But Most High is merciful. Yeah, that's what's going on, because them brothers went over there thinking they supposed to be in that land now, and they're the chosen people, as they true they are. But that's the land we're not supposed to be there now. The Messiah going to lead us in that land. He going to bring it there. And when he comes, before he goes there, he going to clear the way by stomping all them people. Read Isaiah chapter 63. Y'all read it? In Revelation chapter 14. He going to crush them. So let him do his work. He going to lead us in there. Don't try to go in there and force your way in there because you think that's where you're supposed to be now. You're not supposed to be there yet. The Bible says that the little horn shall subdue the whole earth and break it down in pieces. That's what he said. So every place is by the little horn. But that particular place, you read Isaiah 63 and Revelation 14, that particular place, he said, I'm taking care of this by myself. Remember that in Isaiah 63? He said, I tread this wine press alone. I'm taking here. He's taking this personal. And we read in Ezekiel tonight. He said, what? They done took over my land. That's what he said in Ezekiel 36. He read it tonight. They came in my land. Edom here. They come in my land. They gonna have a problem, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. And them Palestinians that's getting kicked out, they better leave. They should just leave. Let them have the land. Let them have it. They're sitting on a danger zone right now. They don't even realize. Because you know what, brethren? Let me tell you something. Those people, the people of the man-made religions, okay, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they really trust in the man. They do. They don't trust in the Most High. They trust in man. The Islamists say they believe in one God, but yet they bow into a stone 5 times a day. A stone in Saudi Arabia 5 times a day. A stone. Huh? That's man. That's man. In Judaism, that's all about man and the devil, y'all. And in Christianity, forget about it. Forget about it. The Pope, really? With the cross, the wooden cross? That's the wood. Come on now. That place they're going to catch it. And anybody that gets to leave there, leave. Leave. Get out of there. It's going to be crushed. And Messiah is going to do the work. He's going to do it. Don't have to worry about me. I'm not calling for anybody to go over there with arms. Don't worry about me. Y'all listening, your FBI, all that. I'm not. Nah. Our Messiah, who you don't even believe in. You don't even believe in him. Don't worry about that. He's going to come. And when he come, he going to do business, y'all. He getting ready to do business. So them people getting kicked out, don't fight that. Get out of there. Get out of there. Don't fight over that land. Get out of there. See, I can talk from this position because our people been out of there a long time. And our people been out of there a long time, right? So we've been generations in the heathen land. So we don't need to fight to go over there. No, sir. You don't want to be there. So all of them, Egypt, Judah, Edom, the original Egyptians are either scattered from that land or in the southern part. If you go, there's brothers and sisters that have gone to Egypt, looking for truth. And one of the things their testimony where they've been, I've seen a couple of them get a testimony that the Egyptians that are in power over there are the ones with the European descent. The true Egyptians are in the south in poverty, y'all. Poverty. And they don't even know what they're doing. The true Egyptians worshiping alligators and crocodiles. That's what they do. They worship that. Yes, they do. And they're in poverty. See, because they've been scattered. Scattered. Just like Judah, Edom, Ammon, Moab. Scattered. The true ones, the original ones, the true Semites. Scattered. What you got now is Japhet trying to dwell in the tents of Shem. That's what you got. Japhet trying to. That's why you got the Catholic Church talking about priests, right? Priests and a pope and archbishop. They try to be like Levi. They can't be Levi. The Mormons talking about 70 elders. You can't be Levi. You're not Levi. But you go ahead and you try to act like that though. The Most High knows who the true Levites are, and we who read this word know who it is. We're not worried about that. But I'm telling you what. Don't go over there to the Middle East and think you're getting some blessing. Them Japhet over there. They about to catch it. You don't want to be there. Now, all the earth's going to be dangerous now. But that place right there, that's a hot spot, y'all, for real. I'm trying to tell you. And Jeremiah going to talk more about it. He's going to talk more about it. Okay? Praise the Most High, y'all. That's what I'm saying, man. It's all here in the word. I ain't have to go to Apocrypha or Septuagint or Enoch. I ain't have to do that. Or Jasher. I ain't have to look at that right here. Genesis to Revelation right here. Everything I just told you. Didn't I get it from here? Come on, y'all. Stay focused. Stay focused on the word. Stay focused on your Father. Stay focused on the spirit of righteousness and you'll be all right. I don't care what happens around us. Remember, he said 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Stay true to these things and you'll be all right. He's going to lead you in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. He's going to guide you in the narrow path. Stay with him. That's all you got to do. Stay with him. I know it sounds easy, right? It is. They're going to make it difficult, but I mean, understanding wise is easy. Stay with his word. Stay with his spirit. Just keep doing that. Don't worry about being in a church or a denomination. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about where you're supposed to be. He will lead you where you're supposed to be. Here, I was running down to North Carolina, and he sent my behind right back here. There you go. He's always going to lead us where we're supposed to be, y'all. As long as you're where he's supposed to be right now, that's all that matters. I don't care if it's the South Side of Chicago, South Bronx. I don't care if it's South Central LA or Washington, D.C. He's going to lead you where you're supposed to be. Just ask him and listen for him. He might lead you to Ghana. He might lead you to the Gambia. He might lead you out to Tanzania. He might do that. But let him lead you. Don't try to go on your own somewhere. Let him lead you where you're supposed to be, and you'll be fine. But I can guarantee you, he's not going to lead you to the Middle East. I can guarantee you that he's not going to lead you there, because that place, you can see, the news is telling you, even with their lives, they're trying to kick every true Israelite out as they can, as fast as they can. As fast as they can. The Most High is allowing that to save us from what's getting ready to come over there. Okay? Listen to him. Don't fight him. It ain't safe over there for us. It's not. Okay, it's not safe for us. Well, tomorrow we're going to do chapter 10. That's another powerful chapter in Jeremiah. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Bless the nation, the scattered nation of Israel, and all grafted in with that olive tree. Shalom.